Dear students, this is our ninth lecture of heterocyclic chemistry, and today we will discuss about replacement nomenclature of heterocycles. So far we have done systematic nomenclature, hands with man rule, trivial names and fusion nomenclature. This is a new system for name these heterocycles. This is called replacement nomenclature. Now let us quickly start with the rules. Now, as we have already discussed that heterocyclic compounds, they are considered to be derived from the carbocyclic compounds by replacement of one or more carbon atoms by the heteroatoms. Like suppose this ring is called cyclopropane and it is a carbocyclic ring. This says that we can replace this CH2 group by O. Replace this CH2 by O, it becomes this oxacyclopropane. So that's what it says. That I have already discussed with you this, that these heterocyclic compounds, they are considered to be derived from their carbocyclic counterparts. Carbocyclic means cyclic compounds composed only of carbon. So like I said you, and the rules of the replacement nomenclature are similar to those applied for the carbocyclic compound. So in this system, the first we have to see the name of the carbocyclic ring or to which this heterocyclic compound is derived. Like it is derived from cyclopropane, so we call it oxacyclopropane. So that we will discuss in our next slides. And this is the most systematic nomenclature, and it can be used for naming heterocycles containing unusual heteroatoms, and also for spiro and bridged heterocyclic systems. So what are spiro systems? Suppose these are two cyclohexane rings. If they are attached like this, we call this compound a spiro compound, which are in which two rings they are attached by only one carbon atom, they are called spiro compounds. It is a spiro compound. On the other hand, these type of compounds like this is called bridged compound, in which these two rings they are joined by through more than two atoms. And if we have system like this in which two rings they are joined by two atoms, we have already discussed, these are called fused system. This is a spiro system and this is a bridged system. So with this system we can name any fusion, spiro, bridged, any type of heterocyclic compounds can be named using this system. Now let us first start with monocyclic heterocyclic compounds, which contains only one ring. Now as I have already said, the first we have to see the name for carbocyclic ring from which our heterocyclic is derived. So we use its normal IUPAC by applying our IUPAC rules for carbocyclic ring. We first name that ring, then the type of heteroatom is indicated by a prefix. So then we have to add the prefix of the heteroatom to the IUPAC name of a carbocyclic ring from which this heterocyclic compound is derived, like this. Now this, as I have already said, it is derived from cyclopropane. So first this rule says that first find the IUPAC name of its carbocyclic counterpart from which it is derived, then see the heteroatom. The heteroatom here is oxa, so its name will be oxacyclopropane. So it is quite easy, its name is oxacyclopropane. The heteroatom is indicated by a prefix. So generally you already are aware that all the prefixes they end by a, so that's why this nomenclature is also called a nomenclature. This is another name for the system. And in this system, the position and prefix for each heteroatom, if we have more than one heteroatom, then its position and prefix, they are placed before the name of corresponding carbocyclic ring. So position as well as name of this heteroatom, that we have to place before the name of the carbocyclic ring, like this. Now this compound can be assumed to be derived from this compound, which is cyclopenta. So if we number this one, suppose we number it, so it is basically cyclopentadiene. We call it cyclopentadiene. Now While naming this, now it has two heteroatoms, so we have to specify their position as well as their name before the name of this carbocyclic counterpart. Now first let us do the numbering. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. The rules for numbering this heterocyclic, they are same that we have already done with hands with man rules. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So its name will be, we have nitrogen at first and third position, so it will be 1, 3. Now we have two nitrogen, so it is called a diaza. Now that compound is a cyclopenta. Now ene is present as second and fourth position, cyclopenta 2, 4 diene. So that is the name of this heterocyclic according to this rule, 1, 3 diaza cyclopenta 2, 4 diene. So that's how we name these compounds according to this replacement nomenclature system. Now let us see some more rules. As I have already discussed that the replacement names derived from benzene, they are retained only if three double bonds are present. Let us understand this by example. Now suppose we have to name this compound. He says that we have to use benzene only when we have three double bonds in the heterocyclic ring system. Now we contain the three double bond in this heterocyclic ring system, so we can name this. The prefix for silicon is sila, so we can call it silabenzene. So its name will be silabenzene. But on the other hand, if we don't have these three double bonds, then we have to use ene or dienes accordingly, whether it is a single bond or a double bond. Now suppose this, now this compound here numbering will start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So its name will be oxa. First we have to specify the oxygen, so we can say oxa 1, it is at first position, 1 oxa cyclohexa. Now we will not use benzene because it does not contain three double bonds. 1 oxa cyclo hexa. Now 2, 3, 2, 5 cyclohexa 2, 5 diene. So that is the name of this compound, 1 oxa cyclohexa, because it contains 6 atoms, 2, 5 diene. That is the name for this compound according to replacement nomenclature. Now as I have discussed that the sequence and numbering of heteroatoms, suppose if we have more than one heteroatom, then these rules are same as we have done in our systematic nomenclature, which is hands with man nomenclature. So the rules are same by which we number these heteroatoms, but in addition to that there are some points that you have to keep in mind. First, as we know that first preference goes to the heteroatom with the highest preference. So this we have discussed many times. Oxygen family has higher preference than nitrogen family, which has higher preference than carbon family, and which has higher preference than boron family. So if we have same atoms from this oxygen family like oxygen sulfur, then oxygen will have higher preference than sulfur. So we have already done. So first preference will go to the heteroatom with the highest preference. The second preference will go to the other heteroatom if it is present. Then after assigning the heteroatom, third preference goes to multiple bonds, whether if there is a double bond or a triple bond. Then first assigning the lowest locants to heteroatoms, then we will see if there is a possibility we have to assign lowest locant to multiple bonds. And fourth preference, this you have to remember these preferences, the fourth preference goes to substituents. If there is a choice, like if we have more than two substituents, then the while numbering alphabetical order is considered. Whose name appears first, it should have lower preference. So that is the order of preferences that you have to remember while naming these compounds. So let us name this compound. Now it has two heteroatoms, oxygen and nitrogen, and as I said, oxygen has higher preference than nitrogen, so the numbering will start from oxygen. Now we have to move in that direction in which this second nitrogen it gets lowest locant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we could have started from this side 1, 2, 3, 4, then it would have taken 4. That would have been the wrong numbering. This is the correct numbering by which the second heteroatom it gets lowest locant. Now its name will be, now we have to give the name according to the preference. First will come oxa. So it is 1 oxa 3 aza. Now this is cyclopenta, cyclopenta. Now 2,4-diene, 2,4-diene, that is the name of this compound according to the replacement nomenclature. So you have to remember the prefixes and their positions. Prefixes have to be written in the order of their preference, that we have discussed many times. Now similarly here, now it is a very interesting example. Now out of these, sulfur, nitrogen and silicon, sulfur has a highest preference, so the numbering will start from sulfur 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is another possibility by which we can number this compound. I will discuss these two possibilities: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now if we look at the yellow numbering and purple colored numbering, in both the cases sulfur and nitrogen, they get 1 4 locant, so both are same. But if we do the numbering with this purple color, then you can see this silicon is getting second locant, but if we do with this yellow color, it is getting 6 locant. So 2 is less than 6, so the numbering which I have done with this purple color, that is correct. So purple color numbering is correct, because in this numbering these heteroatoms, they are having the lowest possible locant. So its name will be, I will write here, its name will be thia is at first position. First we have to see the sulfur 1 thia. Now we will see nitrogen 4 aza. Now then we will silicon is at 2 sila cyclohexane, because it is a derivative of cyclohexane, so that is its name. 1 thia 4 aza 2 sila. So as I have told you, we have to write in the order of their preference. So 1 thia 4 aza 2 sila cyclohexane, that is the name for this compound. So now that was all about your monocyclic heterocyclic compounds. So now let us do some rules for fused heterocyclic compounds, how we name them. So in order to name them, you have to remember the name of their fused carbocyclic counterparts. Like suppose I will write one of your structure. This compound is called naphthalene. So you have to remember these names. This compound is called indane. Okay, this is naphthalene, this is indane. So you have to remember the name of such type of carbocyclic fused ring systems, their trivial names, so that will help us in the fusion nomenclature, because we have to have these names. Then we will just we just have to specify the position of heteroatoms. Now here the positions and prefixes for the heteroatoms, they are written in the front of the name of corresponding carbocyclic ring. As I have already told you, it is similar to monocyclic system. The first we have to write position and prefixes of the heteroatom, then we have to write the name of the carbocyclic ring from which this heterocyclic compound is derived. Now suppose this is a, if there would have been no nitrogens, this was phenanthrene. Without nitrogen, if its carbocyclic part, carbocyclic derivative is phenanthrene. So you have to remember their names. So we have to do the numbering. Numbering will 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So for numbering we have to follow the rules of a carbocyclic ring system. Then if there is a possibility, we have to give the lowest locant to heteroatoms. Now its name will be, the nitrogen is present at 3 and 9th position, so its name will be 3,9 diazophenanthrene. So that is its name, 3,9 diazophenanthrene. That is the name for this compound that I have written here. So it is a derivative of phenanthrene. So you have to remember the names of their carbocyclic derivatives. The rest is quite easy. Now the second rule says that now numbering, how to do the numbering. So the numbering of corresponding carbocyclic ring is retained, as I have told you here. While numbering, we have followed the order according to the numbering of carbocyclic ring system. So the says that the numbering of corresponding carbocyclic ring is retained irrespective of the position of heteroatoms. But if we have a choice, the lowest possible number locants they are assigned to heteroatoms in the complete fused heterocyclic system following preference. We have to follow preference as well as the lowest number locants, and the here the heteroatom at the ring junction is assigned individual number in the fusion nomenclature system. Now we discussed the fusion nomenclature system, that if a heteroatom comes at a junction, then it is assigned a, but carbon is not assigned a number, but heteroatom is assigned a different number. I will explain you with the example. But in this replacement nomenclature system, the heteroatom at the ring junction is given the same locant as the adjacent non-conjunction carbon atom, but with the suffix a or b, etc. Now let us explain this. Now suppose this is the same compound. If we have to number first according to fusion nomenclature, what we have done is it will start from here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So as I have said, in fusion nomenclature system the heteroatom at the ring junction is given a different number, but in this system the numbering starts from the sulfur 1 2 I will write here 2 3. Now this will not be given 3, it will be given the, as he has said, the ring the in replacement nomenclature system the heteroatom at the ring junction is given the same locant as an adjacent non-conjunction carbon. So that is the carbon adjacent to nitrogen, its number is 3. So we have to write 3, then we have to write a 3a. So it will be 4 5 6. So that's how you number this. So its name will be it is a derivative of pentylene. So it is first thia 1 thia, its name according to replacement nomenclature. Its name according to fusion nomenclature we have already done, so you can check my lecture on fusion nomenclature. So its name will be 1 thia. So 3a comma 6, nitrogen is present at 2 positions. Diaza, its name of carbocyclic ring is pentylene. So if there would have been no heteroatoms, its name would have been pentylene. So it becomes 1 thia 3a 6 diaza pentylene, name of this compound according to replacement nomenclature system. Now the next rule is the corresponding carbocyclic ring without a maximum number of non-cumulative double bonds we have already discussed. It is named without using prefix for hydrogen atom. The ring is named in the state of hydrogenation. So this he says that the corresponding carbocyclic ring without a maximum number of non-cumulative double bonds, as there are no double bonds. So we have to use, if we the name of this ring is available, if this ring I have already written, so it is a derivative of this type of compound. So if indane, so we have to name it as a derivative of indane. So now let us do the numbering 1 2 3 4. This numbering we have to do so as to give the lowest possible locants to heteroatoms. So 7. So its name will be, first we have to write the name of oxygen. It will be 2 oxa because oxygen has highest preference. Then sulfur 3 thia, then nitrogen 1 as a. So you have to write separately all these heteroatoms. And next so indane, so sorry, it is indane 3 as a indane. So that is the name of this compound, 2 oxa 3 thia 1 as a indane. That is a replacement nomenclature for this compound. So sorry, we have forget about this nitrogen. It is there is one more nitrogen at 5th position. So it is 1,5-diaza. So you have to be very careful. You should not do any hurry, as I just forget to see this nitrogen. It is 1,5 diaza indane. Yeah. Now that is the name for this compound. So this rule says that if there is a name available for a saturated system like it was available in indane, then we need not to use like dihydro or hydro. We have a ring with saturated ring, this 5-membered ring, so its name was indane, so it is named as a derivative of indane. Now we just have to specify the position of heteroatom. So it is 2-oxa 3-thia 1,5-diaza indane. That is the name for this compound. Second rule says that if the corresponding carbocyclic ring is without maximum number of non-cumulative double bonds, the heterocyclic system is considered to be with the maximum number. We have to consider it to be with the maximum number of conjugated or isolated double bonds, and the corresponding carbocyclic ring is named as it contains maximum number of non-cumulative double bonds, like this. Here we have to consider it as a derivative of naphthalene, as it does not have this type of system, but this, as it contains only one double bond, it is less than the maximum number of non-cumulative double bonds, but we have to see this as a derivative of naphthalene. So if there is a possibility to, generally these type of rings they will be named as the derivatives of naphthalene, so we have to do the numbering. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, it is 1-oxa 3-thia naphthalene. That is the name for this replacement name for this compound, 1-oxa 3-thia naphthalene. That is its name, so it is considered as a derivative of naphthalene. Okay. Now if there is we have no possibility, we have to identify the additional hydrogen atom or saturated center, then it is indicated by italic H, as we have already done with our previous nomenclature systems, and it is placed before the position and prefix of the heteroatoms. Like in this case, yeah, if we do the numbering, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Now this one it is a derivative of chrysene. If there would have been no heteroatom and it would have contained a double bond, it would have been a derivative of chrysene. Now it contains a saturated center, so we will write 1H. Now we have oxygen at second position, 2-oxa chrysene. So that is the name for this compound. So that is how you name fuse heterocycles using replacement nomenclature. So that was all for today. So it is quite interesting system of nomenclature. In our next lecture we will discuss about how to name bridged heterocycles using this nomenclature system. So that is also quite easy, and this system is quite easy, but sometimes the names become too long, so we prefer trivial names. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe. So in the next lecture we will discuss about nomenclature of bridged heterocyclic compounds. Thank you very much.